is at the mercy of a gang of criminals, led by a man who calls himself the Kid. And I'm the only one who can find him for you. You haven't changed, have you? But I have. Steve, you're going to put in my system whether you like it or not.
I doubt it.
You forget. What I create, I can destroy.
How much will you take to teach Carl to operate this thing?
I will not allow that machine to be used for criminal purposes. Isn't that clear? Sit down. There it is. 577. 577. Quiet, quiet!
Ajax Importing Company, 122 Doyle Street.
Call police headquarters. Squad cars immediately.
Tell me when the right-hand dial is on 40.
Give me that!
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to soar higher than any plane, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Peanuts! Popcorn! Get your hot
All right, folks, only a dime. 1/10 of a dollar. You're just about to witness the most amazing sample of Texicolian art the world has ever seen.
Sorry, old fellow.
Fine thing. Ace newspaper woman scares monkeys.
Ace newspaper woman reviews circus. What an assignment.
Yeah, too bad, Lois. Looks like a great night for a murder or fire or something.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up and
That's
get your
your cue,
ticket,
Lois.
folks. The show's about to start. Only a few minutes before the performance begins. So hurry, hurry, hurry.
going, Joe. Let's see what's cooking. This is a job for Superman. Lucky Lois. Always gets her story.
And luckily, she lives to write it.
Thanks to Superman.
This is the nebula in Andromeda. A ray from this nebula will be caught here and electrically transferred to the projector in my laboratory.
From Andromeda?
750,000 light years distant. I leave my secret with you. It is all there. More power than man has ever possessed. Power to heal, power to destroy.
You're poisoned.
Poisoned? And everyone I touch is poisoned. They die.
If your men fail to capture him at the gate, then at midnight we bolt all doors and darken the entire house. His face and hands will appear like phosphorus.
And if he touches anyone,
They die.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I am your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
How we doing tonight, Evan?
We are good. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. We made it.
Made
it. Yeah, we made it. We made it. Oh my God. What a week. Let me tell you. No, everybody, we've all made it to Friday. We're here chilling. This is what a hard working week is all about, right? Kicking back, chilling, and literally back in Evan's case because,
back in the studio.
Been away. Him and Fresh have traded spots this week. It's in their contracts. When one of them has 1 week off, the other one gets the next week off. So
I was at the side of the ring just going, tag me in.
Right. And it could have been a lot messier. They could have battled for it, but luckily it was tag in, tag out. And so we're here bringing some public domain horror into your Friday night. As always, we are deep in season 4. This is our 8th movie. Our 8th movie for our Ape movie.
Was that
like that? Do what?
Was that intentional?
I kind of thought about it earlier this week, but not, that line was just kind of out of the blue. No, I mean, this is not only our Ape-core movie of the season. Again, we have got big horror stars for the last few movies of season 4. And tonight is, of course, one of the biggest. It's Boris Karloff in The Ape. So that doesn't get any easier for an Ape-core title than The Ape. And
it is what it says it is. It's right there on the 10.
It's right there. You know exactly what you're getting. It's a Boris Karloff Ape movie. And I believe it's the only one, I couldn't find any other. This is it. This is the only Boris Karloff Ape-core movie. I think there's one I just found out about today that isn't as well known, where he's like a mad scientist and it's something to do with he's like a brain scientist and he's using monkeys for brain transplants. I don't know. So I don't know if that counts as Ape-core per se, but this is, if we define Ape-core as man in a suit running around terrorizing people, this is it for Boris Karloff. And this, interesting time in his career, but we'll get into all that. It's from 1940. It's Poverty Row movie. It's kind of the beginning of really the cycle as we know it. And it's Boris Karloff as a mad scientist.
So I seem to remember that we watched a movie called The Gorilla, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we've watched a couple. The gorilla was the Ritz Brothers movie, right?
The gorilla was the Ritz Brothers horror comedy with Bela Lugosi as the butler. Yes,
Right.
Right.
Haven't we watched? What other Ape-core movies have we watched?
We saw The Ape Man with Bela Lugosi, which, remember, he had like the fur on the side of his face, and he was running around with an ape, like a guy in an ape costume the whole time. It was pretty ridiculous. Horror Express, which was a little, we didn't know at the time it was going to be Ape-core. That was
it kind of ended up being it.
That was where we discovered the term Ape-core, was that episode, because it was essentially, it was essentially an ape, some kind of primate missing link thing. That counts, I believe. It's not a Sasquatch movie.
Distinctly not a Sasquatch.
Definitely not. Earlier this season, we watched a movie called The Monster Maker that had an ape in it, but I don't know that we necessarily would count that as Ape-core, because the ape really didn't factor into the plot very much. He didn't do anything. He got out like once, but he didn't kill anybody, and he wasn't... That was it. He doesn't factor into the climax. So that it was just like the ape was
He's just there to build a little tension. If the threat of an ape is just looming.
That was big at this time. I mean, this movie, and then you had the gorilla the year before this. It's kind of the beginning of this like ape movie cycle that lasted all the way through again, you could say it started with King Kong, but like as far as men in suits running around terrorizing people, and then tonight's movie takes it into like broad horror because you bring in Boris Karloff as a mad scientist, and that's really, Ape Man came 3 years after tonight's movie, so it's by the same studio, Monogram. So Monogram kind of recycled the plot later.
So wait, was that movie aping this movie?
This is where we could use fresh. But yes, it 100% is aping the ape.
So we've seen the ripoff. Tonight we get to see the original.
We get to see the original. Although again, I say that they're very different movies because of the Karloff Lugosi factor. They're just two different. They're two totally different performances.
Not really interchangeable.
You're getting two very different things. And so again, my source for tonight's episode, Poverty Row Horrors by Tom Weaver, is actually very complimentary of Karloff in this movie. It's like, this is one of the last ones where he actually cared about the performance and wasn't just phoning it in. So, that's kind of, Lugosi never phoned it in. Lugosi was always putting in 110%. And that, 20% of that might have been drugs, but we talked all about Lon Chaney last week. That was a whole other thing. Evan was not here for that, but we've talked about these actors' vices, and we'll also talk about, I've found out some interesting things in the research for tonight's episode.
Does Karloff have any fun vices?
I'll get to that. I've never heard this before, but there was an interview with one of the actors in this movie, and he has they seem to just treat it like it's a throwaway, just this catty guy talking, and they don't treat it with any mind, but I was surprised. So that's a tease to stick around for a salacious Boris Karloff fact. We'll get to it later.
The big reveal.
What was his vice? What's Karloff's what?
Can we make that a segment?
Yeah, let me just whip up a graphic here.
Can we start pulling skeletons out of people's closets?
I think we kind of have to. We touched on Lionel Atwell's orgy. Everybody's got some kind of. It's Hollywood, baby. We said it many times. This par for the course. Everybody's got some kind of seedy thing that they're actually involved in, or it's again, we talked about the Code a couple episodes ago. The Code and the whole motion picture production, association was all about cleaning things up and sweeping things under the rug. And the studios had fixers, and that was a whole thing. So
is this film during the Code?
Yeah, this is definitely a Code. This is
coded film.
6 years after the Code. Yeah, and I didn't. Some of these movies I've been able to find more information about, like their correspondence with the administration about like what they could and couldn't do, and I haven't found anything about that for the Ape, but it definitely, the Ape pushes some boundaries because the screenwriter's actually pretty interesting screenwriter. So he comes up with a kind of he puts more of a sci-fi kind of spin on it too. And so this movie's got a lot. So I'm very excited to get into it. We'll get to it because, as always, on Fridays, Evan brings us a delicious, wonderful cocktail to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which we call...
What were you drinking?
What are we drinking tonight, Evan?
So, as I've said, the goal for this season is to try to keep things simple, try to find some easy cocktail recipes.
Right.
Something that's, it's easy to whip up at home. So, I think tonight's recipe should deliver. Tonight's drink is the Grape Ape.
Yeah, I'll let that sit for a minute.
Just let that dead air sink in.
I don't have any photos of the Hanna-Barbera cartoon character from the 70s to pop up. That would be really good.
Would have been helpful.
Yeah, it would have been helpful.
You guys remember Grape Ape, right?
Yeah, Grape Ape was... all the kids loved Grape Ape, man.
Was that a Hanna-Barbera?
It was. It was.
One of those, like, it was like a Scooby-Doo analog.
Yeah, when you sent me the drink, I went and looked up. Well, that was the first thing that came up, of course, was the,
right,
all about Grape. So I had to read. So I had to read all about it. Because I vaguely remember maybe catching some Grape Ape on like Boomerang or Cartoon Network at some point. But yeah, it's just kind of like a dopey, like.
He's like a purple King Kong. He's like a friendly King Kong. So that's kind of his deal. What kind was it a Scooby-Doo thing? Was there a monster? I feel like if you've got King Kong as your like Scooby-Doo, it's kind of game over. Like
that's true.
The stakes are you've already got Grape.
See, I don't know. Yeah, I don't
remember how that shook out.
No, see, I haven't seen enough Grape Ape. We'll
have to go watch some Boomerang. In any case, tonight's drink is made with grape juice, lemon lime soda, and vodka. So, like I said, this is easy. It's 3 ingredients, and I really like these recipes because I feel like I can take these home a lot easier than some of the more complicated ones that we do.
Yeah.
If I'm whipping something up at home, I'm probably not going to break out half the cabinet like I feel like sometimes we do on the show.
Yeah, you have been known to walk in. You should see him. He walks in with his arm, just ingredients under both arms,
laden with glass.
Everywhere, glass everywhere. You gotta stir it up.
It's been sitting for a second. I'm gonna give it a little stir.
You don't want all the alcohol to separate from the grape juice. And thank you, sir. Got this.
So these it looks like it looks like grape soda, I guess. It does. But it's grape juice and soda.
Which is definitely, I think we talked about it. It's fancier than if you were just to go grape soda and vodka, you might as well just go
like we said on Wednesday. That's grape soda and vodka is probably something I drank in college, but not something I would probably gravitate towards now. But we're gonna give this a shot. I guess, you know, without any further ado, Ape, Grape Ape. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Ooh.
That's very nice.
Very good.
That's very nice.
Very good. It's funny, like the first thing that hit was the lemon lime. And then the grape juice, obviously, because you can't taste the vodka. The vodka is just now settling in. I'm just feeling a little.
It's
not even a burn, just a.
It's sweet, but it's not like if it was just grape soda. I think it would be like kind of cloyingly sweet. This it kind of hits a better balance, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's.
So, this one's good. Everybody at home, if you've got grape juice and some Sprite lying around, then easy Friday night cocktail.
Peasy. And it's really good. Actually, it is really funny the way that the grape juice complements the lemon lime. And I know I sound like an asshole when I say that, but it's funny. There is actually like there's like an order to the flavors at which they like hit, and it's kind of interesting. It's funny. There's a complexity to it. That's what, even though the theme of the season, obviously, with the drinks, go simple. But I think with every one, there's still like, there's a tasting factor, right? Like,
absolutely.
The ingredients are kind of, doing things with each other. They're getting busy with each other, basically. That's, for lack of a better phrase. I mean, and it's, creates something interesting.
What I thought today is something else I really love about these drinks is if I were to just mix grape juice and lemon lime soda, you'd think I was a madman.
Yeah.
But like you throw a little vodka in there and suddenly like, okay, hang on a second.
I can chill with this. Yeah. And you can. I mean, this is definitely going to be a nice one. Because, it's funny. When Evan sent me this recipe, I was really happy with it because we've done some ape movies before. And so the obvious direction to go with an ape movie is some kind of banana flavored cocktail.
You thought I was going to go banana, and then I stepped.
And you said, and it's refreshing, honestly, because we haven't had any kind of grape flavored anything.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this is the first grape flavored anything we've had on this show.
Outside the wine, if you count that, but that's just a whole different ball game.
I don't want to say that wine isn't grape flavored because that's not really true, but it's kind of different.
It's not grape flavored actually. When you really point it out, yeah, it's really not. It's good. It's good. I'm gonna really enjoy this with tonight's movie. It's gonna be again, like the grape is like every time I take a sip and something crazy's going on in the movie. It's like, okay, like, but I'm still feeling,
still feeling light.
It's just, there's just something about grape versus banana. It's just, we've done it. I'm excited for this. So, thank you, Evan, for another. You've done it. You've done it again, Evan.
You bastard! You've done it again,
Evan. You son of a bitch. No, it's great. I love it. So we're gonna enjoy this Grape Ape with the Ape, episode 8.
It's a great little cadence he had there.
Yeah, trying to get a little flow going.
Welcome to a Friday night slam poetry.
No. I'm not. Do not sign me up for slam poetry.
We're doing slam poetry tonight.
Nope. I will sound like an idiot. No, I'll just sound like William Shatner, honestly.
Let me just pull up some Star Wars or Star Trek quotes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Be careful there, Evan. You better not confuse the two.
I'm on thin ice.
You're on very thin ice, man. They're gonna come after you, bro. No. So we don't want to get in trouble with the Trekkies out there.
We're not picking fights with any Trekkies.
No, we're not trying to pick any fights with anybody. We're just trying to enjoy another the Ape-core movie of season 4. That's what we're about to get into tonight. Again, 1940. This is Monogram Poverty Row. So very cheap, very quickly made. Not necessarily what Boris Karloff is used to with horror movies. And so it's kind of a funny story. He was under contract to Monogram doing the Mr. Wong movies, which, if you don't know, it's a detective series where Boris Karloff is in yellowface for 5 movies he did, and he is playing this Japanese detective. Obviously, the worst choice.
How common was that even back then? Doing yellowface?
Very common, because you had the Charlie Chan series, which was he was another Asian detective. You had Mr. Moto as Japanese. That was Peter Lorre doing that. Peter Lorre was German, or European. I don't know exactly from Germany or where. But I don't want to get that wrong.
Watch out.
I got to be
Peter
careful.
Lorre people will come after
Peter Lorre's he's got some fans. I love Peter Lorre. But yeah, I mean, so, and then Boris Karloff also had played Fu Man. Boris Karloff honestly doesn't have a great track record when it comes to the, but that's a whole other thing. So Boris Karloff was under contract to Monogram doing the Mr. Wong movies, and they were like, you know what? Like, horror movies are coming back in style. Let's take him out of the Mr. Wong movies. Let's put him in a horror movie. So they swapped him out. They moved him from Mr. Wong, and they actually cast a Japanese guy to play Mr. Wong in the next movie. And then they didn't do any more Mr. Wong movies, so it's kind of sad.
Yeah, at least they got one.
And so they got Boris Karloff for one. And this is the only Poverty Row movie that Boris Karloff, the only Poverty Row horror movie that Boris Karloff did.
Huh.
This is it. This is all. Now we'll get other Boris Karloff public domain movies, but this is the only Poverty Row. He just did this.
Poverty Row's a little beneath a man of his stature.
Yeah, he did one, and then after that he said, you know what, I'm good. And I mean, he could just go to unlike Lugosi, Karloff could just go to Universal and they'd be like, all right, let's cast him as the scary guy in this movie, and he'd get like a pretty big role, whereas Lugosi's just kind of given second or third fiddle.
He's the butler.
Yeah, the butler. Or I mean, Igor is a great character that Lugosi created, but again, it's not. He wanted to play Dracula again. That was the one thing he wanted to do, and they just no. So, and then when they finally said yes, it was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, and that was not necessarily the finest hour of the monsters. But that's a whole other thing. We're talking Poverty Row, Boris Karloff, 1940. This is again Mad Scientist movie, which was Boris Karloff's bread and butter at this time. He was making a lot of Mad Doctor movies, but we'll get into all that. We'll talk about Boris Karloff, talk about Ape movies, all that good stuff. Anything before we get into tonight's film, Evan?
I guess not. Let's.
All right, then, without further ado, here is The Ape. Sorry, that was really loud. I might have busted some eardrums. So loud. So I meant to say this earlier. Yes, his name is William Nye. It's not Bill.
Wait a
Nye.
second.
No,
Wait a
it's
second.
Not, no.
Bill.
William to you. That's William.
I'm actually going by William now.
I've decided to give up science and pursue my true passion. Directing.
I'm William Nye, the directing
The
guy.
director guy, yeah.
Players.
The players. That's such an old-fashioned way to say it.
Right.
Love it. So obviously, it's all stock footage, but you know.
Do you think that maybe like a Bezos type might get bored and make a space circus and call it the greatest show off Earth?
Ooh, you better copyright that. Yeah, that's if they don't, they're missing out.
Space circus.
Only old tires I got 'em riding on.
Circus. I'd go in a heartbeat.
Is it yeah, you
Save your
can't
money.
mistreat the
Plenty of
animals
freaks around here.
nowadays. Is it bad to send an elephant to space?
If you put a helmet on, it'll be fine.
You think they got all the things they say they have?
Sure, the man told us.
Bet they ain't got no lions. They have to. The man
Oh, here's your classic gang of neighborhood scamps running around and coming up with schemes and getting them no good.
Gang of
We're going past
Oh,
Doc Adrian's
shucks.
house, ain't we?
Sure.
Sure.
We gone right by the front of the house?
Sure. What's the matter? You scared?
I ain't scared of no crazy
What's the
duck.
matter? You scared?
Come on.
You scared or
Wait,
something?
you see, it's this way. If I don't get home for dinner, what? Mom won't let me go to the circus.
All right, so you're afraid.
Oh,
You'd
the
better stay.
circus. R.I.P. Although I don't even think I went to the circus,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
I've never been to a circus. Oh.
Got your window.
What if that guy rode up and started throwing rocks to the house?
Yeah, this guy sucks. Ah, it's my house.
Gee, look, he's got Willie.
Kid, you're mine now.
Yeah, Karloff definitely looks like a bicycle kind of guy. So this is just classic. Classic Karloff mad scientist.
Something's bubbling, always.
He's got
the glass vials.
Got the glasses, got the weird
the
haircut.
Gloves, they don't always have the big gloves.
No, not always. Oh my god.
What year was this again?
So this is 1940.
Okay.
And they had already been doing, scientists have been trying to do brain transplants on like dogs and trying to do all kinds of life after death experiments in the 30s. It was kind of like a weird patch of time.
I can't understand why they
made a
don't
whole
do
movie
something about
about
Doc Adrian.
it, with the actual doctor who was doing
Destroying all the values in this town. Giving
surgeries.
Red Creek a bad name.
I think so. You're right, Mason.
You ought to have been run out of this town a long time ago.
And they use actual footage from the surgeries.
You should have been with us this afternoon.
But
He
it's
scared
really
the women
awful
so
movie,
bad
so
they
it's
haven't
public
got over
domain,
it
but
yet.
This town's too healthy.
It's so
Maybe he's
boring.
carrying himself
So
a
did it
couple of
work, though?
patients. Understand them big doctors make a lot of money on nervous women.
Wasn't It's funny when that epidemic
Maybe
broke out,
like
Quinn.
briefly.
You know as well as I do, he used a lot of those patients as guinea pigs.
I know
nothing
of the sort.
I know he did everything.
No, not like in a human.
So
No,
it's
I think it was in an animal.
Well,
I gotta look up the. No, it wasn't brain swapping.
Well, he got himself another
I
this
need to.
afternoon.
It's called life.
Little Willie over there.
I'm not sure.
That would be incredible. If you swap brains and it would still work for a little. Like,
He ran after me, hurt me, and I wasn't doing nothing.
Hurt
Poor
you?
child. I think you're all yellow.
Oh,
He's
wow.
right. And none of you got the courage to do
Got
anything
him.
about it.
That was a burn.
Yeah,
Patients
look at
die
this
on him.
sassy lady.
Now he's
in
hanging
town
around
just
Miss
going
Clifford's
around
house
burning
experimenting with
everybody.
Francis, I guess.
You make a poor critic, Mason. Your greed hasn't done this town any good.
You doing preaching?
Little preaching wouldn't do you no harm.
The preachy
What with the people you
shopkeep.
squeeze dry and the usury you charge on your loans?
No, I don't ask him to borrow.
I guess there's an answer for that also. But I think it'd be wasted on you.
Business is business, Quinn, and you know it. Besides, we weren't talking about me. Why don't we kick the doctor out and be done with it? I'm ready anytime you're willing to start it.
And he's just waltzing in. They're talking about how much they hate him.
Description. I'll fill it in a second. Been quite busy
Brooding
this
in.
morning. I'm sorry to delay you, Doctor.
Perfectly all right. I can fix it myself.
It's none of my business, and maybe we men of science think different from other people, but if they ever find out in the village what you've been doing...
You mean about the animal?
Yes, we
Yes,
men
some
of
of the dogs have been
science.
missed.
Well, that phase of the experiment is
Sure
all over.
thing.
I found out all I need to know.
Can I help you?
If you think they need you in the store,
Just as you say, Doctor, just as you say.
Wow. More like the spineless shopkeep. Jeez, just letting Karloff run around. Look at him, he's just brooding around. I love the way he's like...
He walks like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
enjoying the last of the sun, huh?
Oh, doctor. Sit down.
Thank you.
Oh, how's my girl today? Oh, you're all dressed up.
Danny phoned. He's coming over.
So early?
He can't come tonight. He's going to the circus.
Oh, yes, the sick.
Oh.
I almost forgot. I've got a present for you, Francis.
Oh, for me, Doctor?
Well, now, don't get too excited. Just you wait till you open it.
You're gonna hate it.
Isn't anything
Don't
at all.
really, please. Don't get excited. I promise.
Oh, Doctor. Oh, it's beautiful. But why so much, Doctor? You gave me a birthday present last month.
So I did. Well, this is a make-believe birthday, just as you're my make-believe daughter.
Was she very
Yeah,
like
it's
me?
not terrifying at all.
She'd have been just 18 today. She was to have worn that.
Of course,
I couldn't
he lost
save
his
her, and I
real
couldn't
body.
save her mother. I hadn't the weapons to fight the disease that killed them, but I have now, or at least I've got a knowledge of them. 10 years it's taken me. Francis, you are going to walk again.
You're so intense, you frighten me sometimes.
And yet
Yeah, that was very
So Danny's
intense.
going to
You
the
frighten
circus,
me.
huh?
Yes. Then he's coming back here afterwards and tell me all about it.
Oh, he is he? Well, why don't you go with him?
Yeah, it doesn't seem very frightening.
Do you think she could?
Fooling.
Why, of course she could. I don't know why she shouldn't.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, Danny!
Oh, Danny.
Hello, Mrs. Clifford.
Well, Danny, how would you like to take Frances to the circus?
Gee, that'd be great, only.
Gee
Well,
willikers.
of course she can go. We can take care of her. I'll be back for you later.
Oh, thanks, Doctor.
Now, don't you worry, Mrs. Clifford.
Everybody
Two strong
else
men to
in
look after
town
her, she'll
hates
be all
this
right.
doctor
Be back,
except
Danny,
except
I think
these
you better run
three
home and get
people.
yourself cleaned up. You look as if you'd brought all of the grease from the garage with you.
You grease
You know, Francis, I think the
monkey.
doc's crazy. I suppose I'll have to like him as long as he's nice to you.
He wants to be nice to everybody, but people won't let him.
Well, I'm not saying I believe all the things.
Don't you believe any of the things they say about him, Danny Foster?
Well, all right, don't get excited.
Look,
I
Danny,
use your full name, and
The
that's how
stories they
you
tell
know
about
I
the
mean
doctor.
business.
are just as dirty as the grease on your hands and face.
Well, that about takes care of me. So long, honey.
Goodbye, Danny.
Oh, he gave her a necklace? Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Isn't this guy said so long and then just walked?
It's been a hot minute. I think if I did that, it's probably forever. Like, so long.
That was easy, wasn't it? All right, Francis?
Oh, yeah. It feels like kind of a power move.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good goodbye. It sounds like a...
Well, this time next year, it'll take
long.
3
So
men to
long.
lift you.
Oh, not 3 men, Doctor. If it did, they'd want to keep me in the circus.
Hop in, Doc. Oh, no, you can get somebody else at the circus to help you lift her down.
What's the matter? Aren't you coming?
No, you two go on by yourselves.
Oh.
Now, you don't mind if I change my mind, do you?
Oh, please, Doctor.
You'll have much more fun together. Off you go. And don't forget to tell me all about it in the morning.
So long,
We
Doc.
won't.
Thanks for everything.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Bye.
Goodbye, Mother.
Bye.
Goodbye, Doctor.
No, we're just gonna roll out of the back of that thing.
Is she secured?
I know. They did not. I did not see them put any straps in there, any kind of bracing.
She's just
holding up for dear life. At that point, they might as well just fucking tow her with, like, you know, like tow rig on the back of the chair and just pull her along.
Well, we made it. Hey, did you see him, Mickey? Who? The gorilla. Did you really see him? Yeah, in the sideshow. He's a big fella. Is he bigger than 3 men? That ape is bigger than 6 men. 6 big men. It's the biggest ape gorilla in the whole world. Look, here come the clowns.
Having a good time?
Yes.
Don't act like it.
Gee, everybody's looking at us. I'm nervous.
What for?
Well, out with a married man and, you know.
Ooh, saucy. We got a little bit of drama going on here.
It's the best circus I ever saw.
It's the only
Tongues are
circus
gonna
I've ever
wag.
seen.
I have seen this before, but I'll be honest, I did not pay attention when I saw it. So I, like...
It still feels new.
It really does feel new. I really cannot tell you what.
Give 'em while they're
I know
hot.
broadly what's
Ready,
going to
sir?
happen, but... I mean, I can't remember any of these stuff in between. When I say stop, you say footage. Stop. Footage. Stop.
Footage.
Stop.
Right hot out of the oven. Excuse me, sonny. Peanuts, 5 cents a bag.
Isn't she lovely? She's so graceful.
Ah, she's not so hot. I saw her pass in the garage this morning. Them costumes make a big difference.
Yeah, you really took her down a peg.
That's what the doctor calls
Guys.
muscular grace.
Nothing
Muscular
I can't
coordination.
stand more than an insecure grease monkey.
Honey, look over in that ring there. See?
Oh my god.
There you are.
This is what
Right, now,
Karloff
you're
mad
taking
scientists
bones in
do. They always experiment with dogs.
What I've done for you, I could do for men. If they let me.
That's not ominous.
Not at all. We shouldn't be worried.
That's all, honey.
I'm sorry it's over.
You
Never
need
miss
help
another
loading her in the back of the truck. You're just gonna let everybody else leave? Somebody stole your wheels. All right. It's not New Year's. I repeat, not New Year's. They must have springed a pretty penny to get those camels.
What are you trying to do? Drive that animal crazy? Well, he's getting mean. It's the only way I can handle him. Did you ever try a little kindness?
Were the bars supposed to like shake loose there?
Boy. Come on now.
I don't know.
Right
You can
there.
see the
You
top
can
three
see
are
it.
totally out.
I ain't gonna
Yeah.
let him forget it, understand?
That cage
I know
is
he did.
terrible.
That was
It's
right here when he
completely
did it.
broken.
He could
Because he was
punch right
abusing
out
the
of
same
it.
as you're doing. If you don't watch your step, he gets you too.
Ooh.
Why don't you mind your own business?
Yeah, he's been in the bars.
So this is how the Chicago fires.
You boys wouldn't be gambling, would you?
Giant ape. Tried to strangle
Take
a
me
guy.
in.
Dropped his
That was a
cigarette.
fine show you fellas put on. You was the funniest clown I ever seen.
Oh, I rode a
Don't
horse.
you guys
He was
hear
the
the
clown.
music?
He
The
was?
circus is
Yeah,
on
he
fire.
looks like a judge.
So, that was so obviously those bars were supposed to be breakaway, and they're obviously shot of it with him breaking away the bars, but they don't show it. What the hell is that about?
Seems like a missed opportunity.
Without a doubt. All it takes is one lit cigarette.
Listen here, Doctor. Dr. Adrian, get something to put him on. We'll take him there. Get him on, man.
Are you gonna get me water?
Somebody better get after that ape or he'll tear this town wide open. Pete, get a posse together. Come on, boys. Let's see if we can
They're more worried about the ape. This fireplace. Oh my god, the whole top?
Well, I mean, I guess a circus probably would be there.
Yeah. God almighty.
Yeah, see.
That looked real.
It did.
People were like freaking out right away. Oh, there's someone at the door. Oh, it's an ape.
Sorry to bother you, Doctor.
Oh, no, it's just.
Bring him in here. Come on, right here.
And these guys. And this
what
ape.
happened?
An ape got him.
An ape? Hope we scared him off in time.
This man's badly mauled. Well, you better get him into my laboratory.
Badly
Jane, you show
mauled.
them. Well, now, how did it happen? Was he in the cage with the ape?
No, the circus burned down and the ape escaped.
The circus burned down?
The ape
And
escaped.
the audience?
They'd all gone home.
Thank heaven for that.
Will you want us any further, Doctor?
No, I'll take care of it.
Well, then, come on, boys. Let's get out and see if we can find that ape.
Come on, boys.
Don't let him get at me, mister. Don't let him get at me.
Perfectly safe here. I'm a doctor.
Yeah, right.
Am I hurt bad, Doc?
I'm afraid so.
I don't feel nothing. Am I gonna die?
We all have to die sometime.
Oh, just don't let me die, Doc.
I get another doctor.
Yeah, Doc, I think you need to work on your bedside manner, dude.
Man. The highest kind of animal.
This is creepy.
Karloff is creepy. Mad scientists,
Hey.
man.
Yeah.
They don't do mad scientist movies like they used to.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to write you into medical history.
I don't know how many, like, scenes we've had that have been, like, really genuine.
I'm going to keep a promise.
Karloff's got that
Wait
power,
here.
man.
Keep your eyes open.
And like, yeah, anytime somebody's
That
being
sheriff
like,
ain't got no heart.
you know, kind of
I'm so
like
hungry I could eat hay.
helpless, and you just have some mad scientist just going crazy.
Spinal fluid.
From deceased circus trainer.
The spinal fluid of a deceased circus trainer.
And that is gonna take us to our first break.
It's our first mystery. We've got a loose ape, and we've got spinal fluid is somehow involved.
Spinal fluid is involved. Spinal fluid.
So remember that'll be important later.
So this is the whole device of the screenwriter Kurt Siodmak. This is kind of his this is the whole mad science bit that because the movie is it is credited as being based on a play. It's not really based on.
What's the play?
The play was apparently called The Ape, and it had been adapted one time earlier for a movie in 1934 called House of Mystery, directed by the same director of tonight's film, William Nye. And there's like no similarities between the two movies, and even with tonight's movie, like Kurt Siodmak did not use the source material. He just came up with his own story, and then him and another guy wrote the screenplay based off his story. And they did the source material was just used in the publicity of the movie, just IP, existing IP.
The connection is that there is an ape.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, yeah, and we'll find out. Yeah, that is essentially the connect. That is it. You're 100% right, Evan. Like, that's the connection. And, but Kurt Siodmak, was very good at kind of bringing his own interesting touches to stories because he's the guy who created and wrote The Wolfman. He wrote the script for Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. He wrote the novel Donovan's Brain. He wrote, which is like a kind of a crazy sci-fi novel that got adapted a bunch of times. And he was just kind of he fled from Germany during Hitler's rise in the 30s, and
happy Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Oh, no way.
It is.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know if it's happy, but
that's not.
Yeah, is that how you say it? I don't know how you say it, but Holocaust Remembrance Day. Yeah, I mean, Kurt Siodmak, that was what the Wolfman. He was completely he had a lot of inspirations from what was happening in Nazi Germany. Kind of went into what he was writing with these horror movies that he wrote. And his brother was the guy who directed Son of Dracula, which is the one that you had seen, Evan, with all the crazy special effects and all the shadows and all that stuff.
I love that.
Kurt Siodmak was originally hired to write the script, and then when his brother came on, his brother was like, "No, we have to get another writer. We're not using my brother." I don't know. I think they had a rivalry. They didn't get along.
I'm not giving this to him.
And Kurt Siodmak kind of had a little bit of a reputation for kind of being a little schlocky, but I mean, he wrote some, I Walked with a Zombie, which is a 40s zombie movie. He wrote the screenplay for that. That was kind of a big hit. He wrote an anthology series, or he created an anthology series, horror series in the 60s, hosted by Lon Chaney Jr. for Swedish television.
He had one too.
Huh?
For Swedish
television.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's in English. The whole show is in English.
Oh.
It's called 13 Demon Street, and he is the keeper of the house, and he's it's a different story every episode about some horrible thing that why people are in hell, or I don't know. It's some weird thing. And then Kurt Siodmak also wrote the same year this came out, Black Friday, which is a Boris Karloff mad scientist movie, which we're going to see a trailer for during the break. Again, Boris Karloff, that was his bread and butter during this time. This year that this movie was made, 1940, Boris Karloff made like 9 movies. Like in this year. And then I think the next year he made like 1. Like he this was like his last big year of making like a whole bunch of movies, and he kind of settled down after that. But like up to this time, I mean, he had some years where he would, like, I think the same year he made Frankenstein in 1931, he cranked out like almost 10 movies. So the man was like,
he was active.
He, just like Lugosi, he was like really always trying to work. But I mean, it was easier for him to find jobs than it was for Lugosi, because basically both of them up to 1936 were working pretty steadily, and then there was just like a moratorium on horror movies like in England, and they stopped making them in the United States. And then after a double bill of Dracula and Frankenstein in 1938, Universal was like, all right, let's make a new Frankenstein movie. So Karloff played Frankenstein one more time. They got Lugosi in the mix for Son of Frankenstein. Huge hit. So they're like, all right, we're making horror movies again. So Karloff had no problem like getting work. Like this was the like mid-career renaissance for him. Like just boom, immediately started getting all these movies at Columbia where he's playing mad doctors. And that's one of the second trailers we're going to see is for a movie where he plays a mad doctor called The Devil Commands, and it came out the year after tonight's movie, and I guess it's the only movie he made in 1941, because he was actually on stage at the time in a play called Arsenic and Old Lace, and he was doing the whole bit of his character in the play is that a plastic surgeon, he's a criminal, and he had a plastic surgeon change his face so he wouldn't be recognized, but the surgeon got drunk before the surgery and watched a horror movie, so he looks like Boris Karloff. So he, like, when he arrives, like, when he makes his entrance, that's what he's, like, one of the things he says, like, he said, I look like Boris Karloff, and, you know, it's funny because it's Boris Karloff. And then, like, apparently Lugosi, like, toured on stage playing the same character, and I don't know if they changed the line, for, like, or if they kept, you know. I think it'd be funny either way.
Yeah, I could really see it either way.
Either way works.
Like Boris Karloff.
Because people did kind of, like, confuse the two, I think. Like, if you weren't really into horror movies, like, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, what's the difference?
Yeah,
well,
forgiven for.
There's a difference. There's definitely a difference. And yeah, in the Black Friday trailer, which we've shown before, that's also got Lugosi in it. That's the one where he's hypnotized. Like the trailer talks about how they had a hypnotist come on set and hypnotize him into actually thinking that he was being suffocated to death for his death scene in the movie. It's not real, but that was their publicity, and that's what they do in the trailer. But Lugosi has like a bit part, and it's really like a Karloff movie because Karloff is a mad scientist who he tries to save his friend who got injured in an accident by transplanting his brain with half of a gangster's brain. So it's like a Jekyll Hyde thing where this kindly college professor is like also transforming into a dangerous gangster, and he's like trying to settle his scores and get even with the people who kind of turned him in. And it's kind of like the movie we watched last week, Indestructible Man, like all about a pretty much dead guy getting his revenge from beyond the grave.
Does he get shot with a rocket launcher in that one?
No, unfortunately not in Black Friday. No, it's much less exciting because he's just a guy, just somehow.
Yeah, he's not an indestructible man. He's just
he's just a guy with a successful brain transplant. So you know, but yeah, Karloff's scientist in that movie is just kind of ridiculous because it's like, why'd you do this to your friend? And he's just like. All of Karloff's mad scientist characters are like, well, if I do this and it's successful, I'll be famous, or I'll be renowned. It's always something like that. And then, that was the thing. He got out of Monsters pretty much right after Son of Frankenstein, and just was really playing doctors. And not as many butlers. Every once in a while a butler, but usually some kind of nefarious guy or a doctor. Really, mostly doctors. So that's what we're going to see the two trailers, those two Karloff mad scientist movies. When we come back, we'll get into the exciting middle of the ape. We'll see if there's any ape action. I guess the ape didn't kill that guy. I guess it was Karloff. We'll see if Karloff and the ape tag team start murdering everybody. Who knows?
Ape in the woods could be cool.
Could be cool. Hell yes. All right. Well, we're gonna get these trailers, and then when we come back, the exciting middle of the ape. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Recently, newspapers and magazines everywhere carried an amazing story. Reporters saw Dr. Manly Hall hypnotize actor Lugosi to give reality to a scene in Black Friday. Horror-struck, they witnessed the hypnotized actor's mortal agony as Lugosi actually experienced the terror of suffocating to death in a closet.
Let me out, please! I'm suffocating!
The sinister hand of science dares a new and dangerous experiment. Into the body of a gentle scholar is grafted the brain of a criminal, and a new and deadly monster is born to ravage an unsuspecting world.
Been shot.
Here, fix it up, will you?
How'd you get it?
The coppers shot me. It's only a scratch.
How'd you get it?
Well, don't ride me. It's your fault anyway.
Mine?
Yeah.
We'll take that bucks.
Go ahead and shoot if you want to dive 200 feet for it.
Keep him covered.
You're sneaking out on him.
What do you
Yes,
mean?
you do.
Dad!
Stop it.
Quick!
Those are my wife's footprints, all right.
5 bodies missing in the 2 years since you people came to this town. Now, it's my job to find out who stole those bodies.
Every time Helen has tried to speak to me since she died, Anne has been somewhere near.
What are you trying to tell me?
Anne is the key. Anne cannot leave.
Great topic of conversation for the show. Yes, that's Karloff's real hair.
Yeah, look at that hair. He looks like he was in a boy band.
Yeah, man. I mean, Karloff had some white. It was like,
Heartthrob.
well, and it's just white, man. Like, completely white. This was like, I don't know what stage in his career his hair it seemed like it was a quick change. Like, his hair just went white. Definitely in between like Frankenstein and then like this. But in this movie, in tonight's movie, he's wearing a wig. But yeah, in that trailer, you could see his hair was going crazy. And I mean, again, Karloff was actually, part Indian, East Asian Indian, not Native American, obviously. And so, again, that's like, you can really see Karloff like has a little bit of a darker complexion from other people he's acting with. He's like his features are very striking, which Evan, I think you noticed whenever he was lording over that guy, like getting ready to, kill him, take his spinal fluid. It was like, all right, you definitely wouldn't want to be alone with Boris Karloff kind of leering over you with that imposing, his deep set eyes and the, giant eyebrows. Scary. Imposing.
Yeah, it was a very creepy scene.
Definitely a creepy scene, and we will get more of those. But I mean, obviously Karloff is complete opposite of his screen persona in real life. Everybody that worked with him said, "Oh, he's great."
Such a sweet guy.
So yeah, exactly. The actress in tonight's film, Maris Rickson is her name. She said that he was elegant, well-educated, and considerate. Always funny when the cameras weren't rolling. So that's
real class act.
Real class. Well, yes, real class act. And then like the guy who's playing the love interest, Danny, the grease monkey, he is an actor named Gene O'Donnell, and he said great things about Karloff too. Dreamed to work with, cooperative and meticulous, right? Like, told wonderful stories on set. But he said, so this is where the salacious Karloff fact is that I'll go ahead and share it. I'll go ahead and reveal it. Yeah, so this is wild to me. I had never heard this in and I haven't read any there's like just recently there was a biography on Karloff that came out. There was a documentary too, but the documentary was just full of stuff I had already. Like again,
you knew everything.
I know enough about Karloff to know a lot. I know a lot, right? But I had never heard this. So this actor, Gene O'Donnell, like he said all that nice stuff about Karloff, but then he also said this. He said, by the way, because he's just talking all about this movie, and he's like, by the way, a friend of mine was on the Vice Squad in LA. At one time, he arrested a number of prostitutes. He asked them who the best swordsman in Hollywood was, and they answered, why, Boris Karloff, without a doubt.
What?
I have never heard that in my life. I've never heard that Boris Karloff had a thing for prostitutes.
Sheesh.
It's no other sources I have ever read. And this book, Poverty Row Horrors, doesn't say a thing about it.
That book doesn't mention his
it
love
has
of
that quote.
prostitutes.
It has this quote, and even like the Wikipedia page uses parts of this guy's quote, but doesn't mention
leave out that part.
They leave out that part, and it's just kind of like, all right, like, I mean, obviously it's unsubstantiated, so like, I'm saying that it's unsubstantiated.
Right,
We're not just out here saying.
With a grain of salt, everybody.
You have to take it with a grain of salt. And again, I have never heard it before, but
who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe the guy got around.
He was married 4 times. Not that that's any indication of him having anything to do with prostitutes. If I believed that, I'd just start going into Paul T. Goldman territory. And if you don't know what Paul T. Goldman is, it's a wild show on Peacock right now. That is the only way I could describe it, is now in this situation. I couldn't describe that show in any other way because it's an enigma. But suffice to say, prostitutes. Who knew? Boris Karloff. No, I don't believe it.
You don't believe it? You don't think he had a secret sex thing?
I mean, I think if he did, it'd probably be a little more.
Was he known to have any other vices?
No.
Like a drinker or anything?
No, no. I mean, I think he liked to play tennis. He liked to, yeah, I mean, he was just like.
That's hardly a vice.
No, it wasn't a vice. That's what I'm saying. He was very, I mean, he smoked cigarettes. Okay. Like, he was just very, very much an Englishman. And I don't know. I mean, old BK, Boris Karloff, Mr. BK.
Yeah,
give him the initial BK.
Have it our way tonight.
We are. It's having it. No, we're having it Boris Karloff's way, and that's it's terrifying. It's served with a side of eyes, not fries. Eyes. Yeah, it's instead of a Happy Meal, it's a horror meal.
Oh, horror meal. Oh, are we? Do you want to spitball a horror themed fast food joint?
Oh, we could. We
Frankenburger.
Frankenburger would be so good. It would be like half beef, half chicken, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
you do
sure.
something. Dude, that sounds horrible.
It's just a mishmash.
Yeah.
We made this one out of hot dogs.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm just trying to now you got my mind trying to think about all different
I can see the wheels are turning.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with something.
What else do we have at Frankenburger?
I'm thinking of mummies and I'm thinking of Draculas, but I can't come up with a.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll sit on it.
We'll sit on it and we'll circle back to it. And before you know it, we're gonna be franchising this thing, and it's gonna pop off. Have to have something ape themed, of course, because obviously very big part of what we do involves apes and giant apes, killer apes, and all kinds of ape stuff. And this is the only Ape-core movie starring Boris Karloff, so it's only right that we come up with some groundbreaking ideas on tonight's show, just to show that we're really, we're doing justice to this monumental occasion. I mean, again, it is pretty wild when you think about it. Only Poverty Row horror movie, only ape movie. Karloff is obviously very picky, and he could be picky.
No, he wasn't monkeying around.
Lugosi couldn't be picky. Yeah, no. Karloff definitely didn't have time for any monkey business. All right, so we're going to get into the exciting middle of the ape. Before we get into it, Evan, what do we think here? We think Karloff is... you think he's going to take this spine fluid and maybe, I don't know, give it to this ape and create some kind of ape man?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, what if he took the ape spinal fluid and put it in a person?
Now, that would be interesting. Certainly would make you stronger. Probably, if you're going bald, you'd start growing more hair. So maybe that'd be good for you. Maybe the townspeople would really like him if he started curing baldness for all the men in the village.
I'm sure, yeah.
Would certainly turn the tide, I think.
All you have to do is get a shot of Ape spinal fluid.
Wouldn't you know that all it took was a little bit of ape spinal fluid? You don't even need to inject it. You just rub it on your scalp, and before you know it, bam, you got hair. We'll see. We'll find out. Right now, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting middle of the ape right now.
Fellas, and search the country up around Carter's farm. Jim, you take your boys and cover the west side of town. Pete, you stay with me. All right. How about joining us, Mason?
Let the circus people do their own work. Why should we do it for them?
Well, the circus is burned down. They've had trouble enough.
No, that's their tough luck.
Well, if we don't find that ape, our own people might get hurt.
Wow,
that's your job. Your law and order. And why should I worry about other people?
Problem.
They don't worry about me.
You wouldn't be a little bit scared, would you, Mason? Well, don't be all day about it. We're ready.
Would you be worried if there
It
was
gives
an
a body
ape
the
on the
creeps to
loose?
think of that critter roaming around.
Yeah,
Better keep the
yeah.
doors and windows
Oh,
all
yeah.
barred.
I think
Don't
I'm
tell him who
more
we'll go
scared of
for
apes
next.
now and chimpanzees and monkeys and gorillas than I've ever been before.
Are you all right, dear? Mm-hmm. Want
I mean,
some more?
it's, you know,
What you thinking about?
seeing clips of
I was
actors
thinking
with
about
actual
that wonderful woman aerialist I
like
saw last night.
chimpanzees and stuff
Oh,
back
here
in the
comes
day
Dr.
is
Adrian.
wild to me.
Morning, Mrs. Griffith.
Good morning.
These are scary.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Adrian.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
I want to thank you again for the
You know,
wonderful
if
time
you're
I
using a
had last night.
chimpanzee, they might as well
too
just
bad about
used a
that
real
trainer,
gorilla, but nope.
Now, don't you
Just
think about him.
always went
This is the
to
most important day
Crash
in your life.
Corrigan and had him
Today we are
dig out
really
his
going
gorilla
to start her
suit.
cure. I found the serum that I need.
I'm going to walk, Dr. Adrian.
I hope so. I'm not just thinking about you, Francis, but of all the other sufferers in the world, all the little boys and girls who can't go out into the sunshine and play and have fun, who have to spend their lives in a wheelchair like you.
I'll do anything I can, Dr. Adrian.
I know you will, my dear.
So
It's
he's
not
trying to
gonna be
spin
easy.
this like he's
Going to hurt.
like it's a good thing.
Yeah,
But when it hurts,
like
don't
he's
be
doing
afraid.
it for
Just
the
remember
good
that
of
when the pain is gone, it'll leave.
humanity and finding
it'll
a
leave
cure
new life
for whatever horrible disease she has.
So, you know the
think we better
trolley
get her ready.
problem.
All right, Doctor.
yes, I love the trolley problem.
So there's another like version of the trolley problem where it's like you're a doctor at a hospital and a guy comes in and like he's badly injured and you
We've got him here.
it's something like
and
you
there,
could either
and here. Now, if we don't get any
save
results
him
tonight, we'll start
or
in here and work
use his
west.
organs to
change
save
your
like
mind, Miss
5
Mason?
other
I never
people.
change my mind.
Right.
You gotta have one first.
It's something like
That's
that.
enough out of
And
you.
this
Here's that
feels
dispossessed notice on
like
Wilcox.
kind of
I
the
want it
like
served
he's
tonight. We're busy
he's
tonight.
arguing
It'll wait
the
till
same
tomorrow.
kind of thing.
Our duty is to take care of the
Essentially.
I'm
citizens
gonna
of this
kill
town.
people because
Not
it'll
fooling
save
around chasing
Yeah,
people.
just kill a few and it'll
Seems
save
you're
all
in a
these
mighty
people.
big
It
hurry
is
to
the
make
trolley
people
problem.
uncomfortable, Mason.
Again,
It's
that's
my business what I do.
I think that's Kurt
Fine, and it's
Siodmak,
mine
right?
what
Like
I
it's a
do.
little bit of a
We'll get to this
little
when
bit
we
of
have
a
time. Good night.
thinking element to it, right? A little bit of a little complexity, right?
Oh, Doctor.
I mean, it's very, broad. It's kind of
Oh, my legs.
myopic.
They feel like
but,
lead. I can't lift them.
But you never could lift them before.
Oh, I know, but I never felt them before.
You feel them, Francis? You feel them?
They're so heavy.
Well, that's good news, my dear. That's what we were hoping for. But it's only just the beginning.
Oh, great.
Again, not ominous at all.
Not at all. Not at all. That's
Mother.
Karloff is,
Jane. Jane. Jane.
Look, I've
The
succeeded.
urgency with
It's
Karloff
there.
is always.
Life in that tiny bottle. It's working.
Is that the fluid? Oh.
Child
no.
will walk again.
Wow.
Classic. She's like, let me just scoot on out of here. She did. She scooted out. like a. They just sat on that for like a humorous amount of time.
There he is.
I always love these like posses in these old movies that run around with guns just haphazardly.
Oh, we better get a doctor.
It ain't no good. He's been dead for hours.
Let's notify the sheriff.
Right.
Don't get the sheriff, get the doctor. Lucky they didn't make it get do like a close-up reaction shot. That would have been hard now. You had to get take seriously. Ah! Oh shit. Gotta air it out.
Man 1, Gorilla 0.
Got all these guys running around with guns. All it takes is a stodgy old doctor.
Yeah,
a knife.
As far as what was gonna happen with the gorilla, immediately being stabbed to death by Boris Karloff was not what I was predicting.
Yeah, no, not what I had in mind.
Oh, he's dead in the doornail.
You better be careful, Doc. Thanks, I will.
No, it's dead as a doornail. Gotta love the comic relief in these old Poverty Row horror movies.
We're the posse. We're here
Yeah.
to provide comic relief.
Never fails.
Yes, Jane, we are safe. But only you and I must know that he's dead. Good night.
She's good. She's using the side eye, and she doesn't even need dialogue.
My legs hurt quite a little, Danny. I know now Dr. Adrian is really going to cure me.
What if they hurt you? How can you be getting better?
Oh, you don't understand, Danny. They never hurt before. There was no feeling at all. Now they feel alive.
Just the same, I don't like it. I don't like things I can't understand.
I like
I don't
pushing you
understand
around in
either,
this
Danny,
chair.
but
It makes me
I
feel
do.
useful.
Oh, I have so much faith in him, Danny.
If you can
He says
stand,
I'm like a daughter
I'm
to
afraid
him,
you're gonna be taller
I
than
know he
me.
wouldn't hurt me unless he had to.
Look, if you can
part of the
stand,
cure,
I'm
it's just
afraid
got
you'll
to be.
walk away.
All right. I'll try to believe too, honey. But I'd rather carry you around all my life than have anything happen to you.
Keep it civil. Let's not get ahead of
Yeah,
ourselves
it's-
now. We got a code to keep up. Code to uphold. It was shot in Santa Clarita, California.
Hello, Sheriff. Any luck?
Not yet, but we'll get him.
Well, I hope so.
Come on, boy. Come on. There, looks like they
Heard
picked
about
up
their
a scent.
diet there.
Yes, that famous Santa Clarita diet. Classic blueberry
Well,
man.
what got into him? Hold on a minute, will you?
Yeah, you bet you will.
Hello, Doc. I haven't seen anything of that ape, have you?
Well, no, I haven't, Sheriff.
Well, my dogs just acted as if they'd picked up his scent.
Oh, well, I better be careful.
Yeah, you better be. Having trouble with insects, Doc?
Yes, this is just a little mixture of my own I'm trying to get rid of them with.
Well, if it works, let me know. My yard's full of them.
Certainly will.
Thanks.
Oh, sheriffs. You gotta love these old-timey sheriffs. Making small talk, not even asking the right questions.
Nope, I didn't see anything.
Oh my God.
Henry, supper's ready. Were you going out?
Yeah.
Oh, but I made lamb stew with dumplings.
This guy's a
I don't care for
douche.
lamb stew and dumplings, thank you. Besides, the sheriff wants us out early to capture that ape.
You needn't lie. I know where you're going.
Oh, you do?
Yes, everybody does.
So you've been listening to gossip, eh?
I can't keep people from talking to me and telling me you found a new interest.
Suppose I have.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it, I guess.
Well, keep that in mind.
But if you just wouldn't carry on here where we live, so people would stop pitying me. Even if you'd go somewhere else.
Why don't you try going somewhere else?
But I have no one but you. I have no folks. I've got no place to go.
You got the river.
The river?
Jesus fucking Christ.
That was extremely brutal. That was scathing.
Awful.
The river.
Verbally abusive, asshole, getting what he deserves. This is ridiculous.
Poor Mason, I feel sorry for his widow.
No, she's better off.
Oh, that ain't funny when a man's been clawed to death.
I didn't like him when he was alive, and I don't see any reason to like him when he's dead.
Just the same, it ain't right, even if he was no good.
We gotta give that ape credit. He only picks out the ornery cusses.
What makes you think you're safe?
Well, boys, you got yourselves some rest today?
About 40 winks, we're plumb tuckered out.
Well, maybe we can get some more
40
people in
winks.
to help us out.
Why don't we go out in the daylight?
Because he don't come out in the daytime. The circus people told us we'd never get him then. We got to catch him prowling after dark.
Think he's still hanging around the village?
He got Mason, didn't he? And we found new tracks up around Dr. Adrian's house. Oh, give me a sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla, you got any sarsaparilla?
Why, it's me, the old-timey sheriff. Can I get a sarsaparilla?
Sheriff Sam Elliott. Over
Quiet, you.
He got a
What do you think of
mustache
that,
too.
Sheriff?
Yeah.
Even the dogs don't like him.
Well, what got into him anyway?
Acted the same way around his house.
Don't make sense. Maybe it's because the doc looks so much like an ape himself. This is no time for joking. All of you be on the job tonight.
You're all fired. I'll find this ape myself.
I don't need volunteer deputies.
I'm scared, Mrs. Clifford. She looks almost... I'm really scared.
We must trust Dr. Adrian.
Almost.
But we don't know. He ain't got a patient in this town. People don't just hate a fellow for nothing.
Do you hate him, Danny?
No. It's not hating him. It's loving Frances the way I do. If anything happens to her.
It's so funny,
going down
like
to
the
see.
way that most of these
I gotta
scenes
ask you.
have been. I mean, this is how
I
you know
gotta
it's
know.
Poverty Row. It's all from one take, like wide shot,
one angle.
Now you
one
just
angle.
rest
That's it.
Danny will
The
be all
whole
My
scene.
legs didn't hurt so.
No matter how dramatic.
Yeah.
You aren't, are you, Mother?
No,
That's
darling.
it. Well,
I want my
No,
little
it's
girl
no
to
coverage.
walk
players.
That's
It's
it.
a play.
Yeah. It's basically like a play.
You ain't
Oh
going
my
in there,
God!
Doc.
It's the
Now,
ape.
what is this, Danny?
I'm scared about her. I gotta know what you're doing.
Well, surely you want her to live a normal life like other people.
Well,
I mean, the
sure,
way he
as
trudges
long as nothing
around,
happens to her.
man. Might as
I
well
love her
be
just
an
the way
ape.
she is, Doc. I can take care of her. I want to take care of her. I don't want no experimenting on her.
But, Danny, if through her I could rid the world of...
I'm not in love with the world. I'm in love with her.
Fancy experimenting up in my fiance.
She's just a guinea pig to you. Well, you got to stop it. You got to stop hurting her.
Have you been to your garage today?
No, I ain't. I've been too worried.
Well, you take care of your cars, and I'll take care of my patients. Now, just you run along.
I ain't running no place.
Burn.
I ain't no doctor. And I don't know enough about what you're doing. But if anything happens to Francis...
Nothing's going to happen to Francis. Now, don't interfere.
Don't interfere. Jeez.
Don't. Yeah. I love how he just says the most ominous things with just,
Here comes
you
Danny
know,
with the
like
doctor.
it's nothing, but it's like...
How do you do, Dr. Adrian?
How is my patient feeling this morning?
I'm all right. She's
Yeah,
been
he
in great
speaks,
pain,
like,
Doctor.
so villainously.
Pain? Oh, that's good.
I mean, that's definitely...
Of course it is. That's what we're
Think
looking
about all
for.
the cartoons and
Now, you
media
prepare.
that the bad guy is just somebody mimicking Boris Karloff's voice. This slow, lisping, vaguely British accent.
You say the name is Mason?
Yeah. Yes, Doctor. Initial H. Anything in your examination to go into my report?
No, I believe not.
Well, I just said the death was caused by a fractured vertebrae. I guess that about covers it, doesn't it?
Yes, I should say that it would.
The reason I sent for you, Doctor, is because you examined the circus trainer when he was sent north. And this case being a similar one to that, I thought probably in your examination that you had discovered something.
Why is there
that I
coverage
had
for
overlooked
this?
to put
This
in my
could have been
coroner
covered in one wide shot. What the hell?
Yeah, good
This
point.
Dr. Adrian, whose name is on the death certificate, is he the local physician?
Yes, if you can call him one. Folks around here don't like him much, though.
And he was also called in on the case of the trainer?
Yes. Yes, that's the same fellow. He came here during the paralysis epidemic. But the folks around here say that he experiments too much.
Thank you very much, Coroner.
Not expressively not polio.
I believe you've given me all the information necessary.
That's fine, Doctor.
That's fine. That's just fine.
So long.
Oh,
Francis, what do you feel?
oh, my legs.
They're hurting?
Oh, they hurt terrible.
Have you more sensation than you had yesterday?
Oh, yes, much more.
Doctor,
Perhaps you
can
could
you give me polio
No.
again?
Then try to move your foot.
Oh, I can't.
You can. Try.
No,
You can.
no.
You can.
I mean,
No.
it's...
You can.
know, I guess it's improvement, but it's kind of terrifying that you feel... Oh, I can feel my legs, but they feel terrible. They hurt like hell.
You just
Mother!
Yeah.
It's working.
That's all the validation I need to keep it up.
You rest. I'll be back later.
I'll be in the lab.
I know I'll be able to walk again.
I know, baby. I know.
Just Kramering in.
Dr. Adrian?
That's right.
I'm Dr. McNulty from the Robinson Foundation.
Oh.
She's not going to help you. She's definitely, of
I had
course, she's
occasion
going to
to
scoot out of
examine
the
the
room
body
as
of a
soon as
circus
you got
trainer
there.
who was killed by an ape here in this town.
Yes, sir.
I understand that you administered to the wounded man before he died.
I did my best for him, but it was quite hopeless.
In spite of the spinal injection you gave him?
I gave him no injection.
I just came from viewing the body of this man, Mason, and I noticed a similar spinal puncture. Did you examine him also?
Well, they called me in, of course, but it was too late. He was dead.
And you noticed no such puncture?
Well, the body was so badly mangled that... Well, no, I didn't.
I see. I understand they've had an epidemic of paralysis here.
That's true.
Many years ago, the Robinson Foundation found it necessary to expel from the institution a most promising young research worker because of his daring, unorthodox experiments with spinal fluid.
It was 25 years ago, to be exact.
That's the word.
Then you are that Dr. Bernard Adrian whose definite theories...
And in spite of what you did to me, for 25 years, I've been engaged in proving those theories.
By what method have you been doing this?
I'm not in a position to disclose that at the moment.
I see. Well, I'm afraid you leave me no alternative but to report.
Wait. If I could give you some small measure of proof, would you change your mind?
I doubt it.
Let me show you.
Here we go. Finally getting some interesting camera work.
You see?
Of course, gotta have guinea pigs.
These two creatures were completely paralyzed. But after my treatment, well, you can see for yourself, they're as lively and healthy as ever they were.
All this has nothing to do with the case.
But it has. The serum that I used.
What became of the serum you took from those two men?
Were, Governor. Engaging his inner street.
You come with me.
Cockney Street Cup.
Oh, wait, did the
guinea pig
just fall off
yes,
the
it
table?
just fall off the table. Very good, Evan. I missed it. But I did read that in the facts for this, that yes, the guinea pig does fall off the table there.
The poor thing.
That poor thing. They didn't give it. Well, again, this is Poverty Row, man. That was what the actor playing Danny said.
We need a slow-mo instant replay.
We got to we do need to see that.
Yeah.
It's you know, if they made a mistake, they cut around it. But in this case, if it's at the very end of the scene, you can't cut around it. Who's gonna notice? And then
do you think they were upset about that, like that being in the take?
No, because it was part of the course. Again, the actor who was playing Danny said that if anything went wrong, you were told not to worry, they'd cut around it. So, like, that was basically the mood on these sets is if something goes wrong, if it's not, like, interrupting the very middle of a take,
just keep going.
If you can keep going and get to the end and it's nothing that stops the scene, then cut it, print it, let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's how you end up with guinea pigs falling off tables.
That's how, again, well, yeah, okay, so, I mean, that's the thing. They started production Tuesday, August 6th. They were done in a week, right?
Sheesh.
So you're definitely not filming that scene again. Oh, guinea pig fell off the table? Oh, I don't care. It was fine. The actors did fine. I don't care about the guinea pig. I don't care what anybody says about our studio or says that we don't care about. Go ahead and let PETA try to boycott the ape. It's already a very anti-animal film in the first place. But
yeah, they were banking on people being more upset about apes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the guinea pig.
Yeah, you're too distracted. You won't notice this guinea pig falling off the table. But I mean, you know, that's definitely Poverty Row for you. That's not really. I mean, and that's the thing. They filmed that movie in a week. At the beginning of August is when they started. It was in theaters by the end of September.
What?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So not only is the production fast, but the post-production turnaround
blistering.
Blistering is the word for it, right? But like, you must be immediately like printing, like after that guinea pig falls off the table, cut it, print it, because we got to get this thing edited and we got to get it out by the end of September. Like, you don't have time to be doing pickup shots. It's wild. I couldn't imagine trying to move at that pace.
That's a quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround, but you know, that was kind of. I mean, even Karloff was used to that. I mean, the director of tonight's film directed all 5 of the Mr. Wong movies that Karloff did. Like, definitely, Karloff had no problem working that fast because, I mean, even as soon as he was done with this, he's on the set of another movie. Boom, going. Like, the man did not stop. So, I don't know. Again, it speaks to the work ethic that these people have. The work ethic that the actor in the gorilla suit has, Crash Corrigan, he's played the gorilla a couple times on some of the things.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Crash Corrigan. So remember, we've talked about him. So we've been watching Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe for our minisodes. We saw a trailer on one of our first few episodes for a serial called Undersea Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And the character in the serial, the lead character, his name is Crash Corrigan. Well, the actor adopted that name and was just credited as Crash Corrigan for like everything afterward.
Oh my god. Okay.
So he like did a lot of westerns, was like a stuntman, but the big thing that he was known for, especially in horror films, was he had his own gorilla suit. So he's the gorilla in a lot of these movies that we see on the stream and just a lot of the Ape-core movies in general. We talked about the Mad Monster. No, I always confuse that with Monster Maker. He was the one in the ape costume in Monster Maker. He is the ape in Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla. That's kind of a later role. He also was an ape in a Universal horror movie called The Strange Case of Dr. RX with the same director as tonight's film. So he just, if somebody needed a gorilla in the movie, there were like two or three guys you could go to, and one of them was Crash Corrigan. Corrigan also had his own like Western movie ranch, I think. It was called Corriganville.
Corriganville?
Well, the Manson family, they were at one called Spawn Ranch. It was a Wild West ranch, like a movie ranch. And that was where Lon Chaney, one of his last movies, was filmed at Spawn Ranch while the Manson family was there. But I don't think, luckily, I think Corrigan kept the riffraff out of his place. But, he played ape roles for a long time. Like this movie was kind of one of his earliest roles, and he played an ape many times. So those are the trailers we're going to see for the break. We're going to see a trailer for Captive Wild Woman, which was a Universal movie, and you'll see the ape a little bit in that. And then the second trailer is for a movie called The White Gorilla, and he apparently had like a big hand in like the making of that movie, because apparently it's just like, it's all this stock footage, and then they filmed some new stuff with like him and like another director and producer. And he plays like a role in it, but he's also a gorilla, and he also did the narration, and he did all these things. So it's it's a little bit of a longer trailer, but there's a lot of gorilla action in it, and there's like two gorillas fighting each other. So I don't know if he had two suits by that point or what the deal was, but
he made enough to afford a second one.
He did. He must have, and it's white, so you gotta hope that you're getting your usage out of that. But yeah, man, Ape-core, so, when it's a whole genre, it's go-to guys. So we're gonna see these two Crash Corrigan ape movie trailers, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into the exciting conclusion of The Ape. So stick around, we'll be right back.
Creature of evil, running amok, blazing a trail of fear-crazed horror. From the jungle's most guarded secret comes this amazing story of a captive wild woman, torn between the mad cravings of animal blood and the longing for human love. A woman whose jungle instincts give her sinister power over man and beast.
And suppose your experiment does succeed. What will you have? A human form with animal instincts.
You know what the police will do to you if they catch you? No, of course you don't. They put you on trial. Then they'll put you in the electric chair and kill you.
The gorilla. There it is.
Away. He came at me. Closer. And closer. When he jumped me, I thought it was the end.
It's like the whole bit is really just the fact that they took a silent movie, shot some new stuff, and then sold it as a whole new movie. I mean, again, that's the beauty of low budget indie filmmaking back in the day. If you have enough money to buy the rights to some cheap thing, put some new elements on it, and remarket it as a new thing, that's an option that is open to you and could be highly profitable. I mean, it really is all eventually about trying to get a movie that makes money. So, like, that's a strategy that works for some people. And, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I mean, you could tell that it was just kind of obvious between the difference between the new stuff and the old stuff. But, you know, who cares? If you can get it into some cheap movie theaters and make probably a couple $1,000, probably wasn't that expensive. Crash Corrigan, that's his, you know.
Crash Corrigan.
As Evan said, you can't just
you can't do that. You can't just decide to go by your character's name in real life.
I don't know.
Imagine if Daniel Radcliffe just said, like, you know what? Fuck it. My name's Harry Potter now.
Well, you know, the thing is, in the old days, they started doing the opposite, especially with like cheap B Western movies, where they would the person they would cast in the movie, that would be the name of the character.
Really?
Yeah. So there'd be like 30 movies, and it's you know, and it's Hopalong Cassidy, and that's all, or it's Roy Rogers, and the character's name is Roy Rogers, and it's really Roy Rogers, and it was really common with Westerns, and so that was, you know, Crash Corrigan. That's just a, you know, if you think it's a cool name, you can just take it and adopt it as your own. We'll see, Sylarn. I don't know. Ape-core could be.
You think we're gonna get a new King Kong?
A new king. We're probably due for one. Yes, Roy Rogers, aka Arby's. that's kind of how Arby's got started, is through Roy Rogers' brand of fast food restaurants. It was a big chain. And you know, the like, have you ever seen any of the Arby's signs that look like a big cowboy hat?
Yeah.
That's Roy Rogers. They were Roy Rogers.
The man was a hat.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Small mini
Small
King Kong. That'd be interesting. He'd have to be a lot more crafty, I think.
Yeah. Diddy Kong.
They
did that one already.
Yes, that's already already been done. Yeah, we'll see, Cylon. I don't know. If we had the money to pimp out a cheap ape costume and, you know, make a really cheap Ape-core movie this year, then, you know, then maybe we'll...
Are you saying we're going to bring it back?
We'll bring it back. We'll just... Let's
back.
challenge ourselves to do what they did here. We're in 2 months, we're gonna develop, make, and release this movie. And... it's just gonna be, it's gonna revitalize the whole Ape-core movement.
Yeah, can we get Boris Karloff?
We'll see if his family will sign the life rights, his digital likeness.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, Sylarn.
Welcome to Sylarn's video essay.
Video game theory stream. But it's story theory. It's not what you would think. Yeah, I don't know. Well,
who's the mistress in this scenario? Is it the lady, or is it Donkey Kong, or is it Mario? So
he says Peach.
It says it's Peach.
Oh, you know, is that valid?
Well, Peach isn't in Donkey Kong. Pauline is in Donkey Kong.
Ooh, get your facts right, Sylarn.
Oh, just kidding. It's Wario. There, that checks out.
Oh yeah, it's Wario. Oh yeah, that definitely checks out. Definitely checks out. Yeah. Well, we'll see. You know, again, if there weren't an ape craze that lasted from the 40s all the way to the when is Donkey Kong, the 80s?
Yeah.
To the 80s, then
I think
you wouldn't even have Donkey Kong. I mean, it's so weird that apes were like a big thing. I mean, I keep forgetting King Kong, of course. That's obviously
yeah. It's in the name. The king.
He is the king. It always goes without saying, but I don't know, with these Ape-core movies in particular, it's something about like a man-sized gorilla.
Yeah, it's different when it's giant.
Yeah, the giant monster. Yeah, I agree. I definitely think it's different.
Yeah, like the giant monster genre is kind of it's just a different thing than a loose gorilla.
I agree.
And it's a very different thing than whatever this is. So just to be clear, what is so the guy killed the gorilla.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah, Boris Karloff,
the
doctor killed the gorilla.
Yeah.
And what is going on?
So, do you really want me to explain it?
Is it going to explain it?
The thing is, it's not like it's not like there's necessarily any spoilers or anything, but like,
I'm pretty sure I know what has happened, but I'm curious if the movie is just going to imply that it happened, or if it's waiting to make some kind of reveal.
I think that your hunches are correct. Let me just say that. I think that you're 100%.
We'll leave the curtain down. We'll leave the mystery intact.
It's kind of, it's like you're saying, it's about the implication, you know. It's just all full of Sunny references all of a sudden. No, it is. There's a moment coming up, so okay. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't.
I don't want to ruin the moment.
I don't want to ruin the moment. I don't want to spoil anything. So yeah, we'll get ready to get into it. I mean, but without kind of spoiling anything, what do we think in this exciting third act? Do we think that Karloff's gonna get enough fluid to get this young woman on her feet?
I think that this mechanic guy is gonna steal this woman. He's gonna take the spinal fluid back out, so she ends up back in the wheelchair. Because he can't.
Yeah, he doesn't want her out.
He doesn't like change.
He does not like change. He doesn't want her to walk away.
Woody Allen.
Simon, I can't wait for the day that you're saying this, and one day it's actually true. And I'm not wishing death on Woody Allen, but it just you say it so often that I'm waiting for the day where it eventually it's like, oh, it's happened. He's right. But we don't wish death on anybody here on this stream. We're not we don't condone.
We're not doing a countdown.
No, certainly not. No death watches here on this show. It's not we're not that kind of show.
We're not on Woody Allen death watch.
No. Silarn, you start your own show, you can have a Woody Allen death clock, and yeah, you can just that can be a segment in your show
just counting down the amount of time Woody Allen has left.
Right. I mean, it's camp. I mean, we will. I won't even elaborate on it. Let's let it go. All right. So I think without any further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of The Ape right now.
Doctor.
Oh, Mrs. Clifford. Now, this is Dr. McNulty.
How do you do, Doctor?
He'd like to talk to Frances.
She's asleep.
No, I'm not asleep, Mother.
I was only pretending.
I was playing possum.
But now, this
I didn't know there was
child
somebody
has had a
important
complete
here.
paralysis of her lower limbs for 10 years. Is that right, Mrs. Clifford?
Yes, it is, Doctor.
Have you had any feeling at all in your limbs since Dr. Adrian has been treating you?
Yes, they've been terribly heavy, and I've had a great deal of pain.
Pain?
Yes, and just a little while ago I moved my foot.
Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Right. Will you do it again for me?
I can't.
Make an effort.
I can't.
Thank you. That's all.
I think you'd better take her out into the sunshine.
Take her out into the sunshine.
Wink.
Is anything wrong, Doctor?
Why, no, Frances, dear. Of course not.
Why, no, of course not. Like, yeah, obviously. You better be scared. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Well, her foot did not move. But I did feel a definite muscular reflex. Congratulations.
Wow.
Validation.
May I notify the Foundation that you'll come back to us?
Something about that look.
I have to stay here.
At least give me your promise to keep us informed of your progress.
Every step of the way.
Thank you.
I do appreciate that with the lighting here, they are trying to give it a little bit of flair with like blinds and shades and things.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Tell the Foundation they can suck it. up the foundation.
It's not finished. It's not finished.
I just realized how big these, how these glasses make his eyes look so much bigger than they actually are. I love the giant.
Gee, look those.
glasses.
Do you see something?
Oh, it's these kids again.
Yeah, you have to wait till you see the white of his eyes. Maybe they ain't white.
I'm gonna take a chance and shoot now.
Oh, shit.
Come here, Willie.
Uh-oh. He's like, no, I want to stick around. Dang. That kid have a real gun? Not a BB gun.
Yeah, it sounded like a real gun.
I don't care how busy you are, Jet Halliday. I want my Willie found. The idea of him wandering around in the dark with that gorilla
Which
loose.
none of you men seem able to capture.
Oh, it's all your nephew's fault. He's always leading my little Willie astray.
Well, he's always under Mickey's heel.
Oh, he's nothing to
Now,
that kind.
ladies, we've got work to do. Your kids are just someplace where they shouldn't be.
Think
That
of the
ain't nothing new.
children.
Have you looked down in Jones's barn? I caught 'em smoking there last week.
We've searched the whole town.
Go take a
Well,
look
who
for 'em,
knows?
Pete. They ain't far away.
Where have you been? Just a minute, Walker. We got him.
Oh, what is it?
Mickey killed him. He shot him dead.
Bang, bang, between the eyes.
Hold it, kids. What'd you shoot him with, Mickey?
My 22. I got a good beat on him.
Where's your 22, Mickey?
Was it a
He dropped it
22
here. I did not.
sidearm?
The ape grabbed it.
I'll ape you when I get you home.
Ah, gee, Ma, don't you believe
She
us?
told
Where'd
him.
you see him?
On the pike about a quarter mile from
It's
Doc
like the
Adrian's house.
worst
All right, get him home.
comic relief.
Come on, Mickey. Come on, Willie. Come on, home right.
I'll ape you
Come on, get out.
when we get
They
home.
probably shot a cow.
Yeah.
I look into it. Where are the dogs?
Red's got him over on the other side of town.
All right, let's go. Wait a minute, boys. I want a word with the doctor. I'll be right out. Okay.
So that you're just the whole posse's just gonna wait outside, huh? Like 20 guys. You don't want to send them ahead or anything.
Doctor in?
All 20 of you guys wait here.
Yes?
So what's her deal?
she almost had a
Good evening, Sheriff.
I heard
Just
her
wanted
say
to see if you were
sheriff.
all right.
Okay.
Ain't been
But,
out,
like,
have you?
No.
I'm trying to think out, Doctor, a lot of things. That ape seems to take a fancy to your place. Now, don't take offense, Doctor. I'm just trying to clear up my mind. Them dogs of mine have been sniffing ape for days.
Oh,
It's made them
that
foolish,
dog
I
of
guess.
mine.
Else why'd they snarl at you?
That dog of mine's been
There
sniffing
may
it
be
for
some
days.
chemical odors on my clothes that offended them.
Uh-huh. But I ain't never seen my dogs offended at anything. Can't understand it, Doctor.
Wait a minute.
Wait until.
Jane! Just get me that torn coat of the trainer's, will you? Now, this is an idea that's just occurred to me. I don't know whether it makes sense or not, but perhaps it'll explain your problem. You see, this coat was worn by the trainer when he was mauled by the ape, and it's been in the house ever since. Now, that perhaps explains the interest of the ape in this house,
nice
and your
little
dogs in
dog.
me.
Then I'll bet you're right. Well, I'll get along. Think I'll put a few men around your house the rest of the night, Doctor, just so you'll be protected.
Don't bother, I'm perfectly safe, and they
Time
might
for me
interfere
to be
with some
hitting
work
the
that I
old
haven't.
dusty
Well, maybe
trail.
I'll just keep an eye out
I'll
myself.
giddy up on out of here.
I'm just a bit scared, Doc. But don't tell anybody about it.
Then we just saddle up. Yeehaw!
Sheriff Sam Elliott.
So long.
sir.
This is the coat that trainer was wearing when the ape killed him.
Boy,
Just
did he
look at
rip
that. Look
that
how he
up.
got
Sure,
over that.
sure.
Boys, look at that.
Well, come on now,
Look at the
boys. This isn't
craftsmanship.
getting us anywhere. If we lay down on this job, our own coats will be in the same shape. Come on, let's get busy. Now, you fellas get back to your positions. You boys go up
Yeah,
this way.
you could have
I'll stay
delegated
here.
that before you went in the house, but... What are you gonna do, BK?
I can't fail.
There's crickets in the background.
Now, Francis, dear,
He just...
I want you to forget all the hours you've spent in this chair. Put them out of your mind. You're not paralyzed. You never were. Fasten that firmly in your mind. You're not paralyzed.
Oh, so he's a Scientologist.
Do
He's
that
not
for me.
really a
I'll
doctor.
try.
Don't
He's
forget.
gonna hypnotize her out of that chair.
Doctor of
not
Scientology.
Now then. Move your right leg. Move it. You can.
Oh, I can't.
Try.
Stop
you
it, you're
can.
hurting her.
I can't, Dr. Adrian.
Try it, Francis. You can. You know you can. Move. There. You moved it, didn't you? You moved it. Now the left one. Now the left one. Now move it.
I saw you clearly
Try
use
again.
your hand to hit the back of your
There.
leg.
You moved them. You moved them both, didn't you, dear? All right, then. Stand up and take a step towards me. Do it. Do it. It's only your mind holding you in that chair, not your body. Do it, I say. Do it. You see, I told you. Go get her some water. Oh, she's all right, Danny. She's better than she was, isn't she?
Is she?
She needs more. She needs more.
Wait, what did he just do to that chair?
Take care of her.
Did he just flick it?
I'll be back.
He just, like...
Just kind of flung it.
He wasn't like, yeah, he didn't push it or like throw it or... It was like a little, like, tap.
Name's Halliday,
Slap.
sheriff over to Red Creek.
Chair slap.
Had a
I
job
slap
finding.
at a chair.
Well, circus jobs are pretty hard to get, Sheriff. You know, all jobs are kind of scarce. You boys get that ape yet?
That's what I come about.
Didn't get him, huh? It's bad. He's a killer.
You boys got some responsibility tracking him down, haven't you?
Well, we did the best we could, Sheriff. The fire broke up the circus. Some of the boys stayed there, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's not what I come about. I just figured when you're looking for something might help to know its habits. Too many things about this animal I don't understand.
Well, animals is all alike. Lions, elephants, dogs, they all got one-track minds.
What do these gorillas live on?
Sure.
They ain't killed any animal.
Shucks, no, they won't touch an animal except out of meanness. They live on fruits, vegetables.
Well, that's
such.
what's bothered me. What's feeding this fella?
Maybe digging up a garden, patch or two, or stealing a little bit of fruits.
No signs of it. Checked with all the farmers. Do they prowl around much, or do they stick to one place?
Well, a gorilla generally sticks to one place if he's got anything there to keep him.
We see evidence that this fella's hanging around one place.
Hey, that ape had it in for the trainer. Where'd he
police
die?
procedural.
In the house of a doctor near the outskirts of town, and that's
Hanging
the
out
place
with
we
the
think the
sheriff.
ape's been hanging around. Say, how would he trace the trainer to that house?
Well, sense of smell. They're pretty good at that. Did you bury him in town?
No, we sent his body to his people up north.
That don't give us much, does it? Any of his clothes around?
When that trainer was taken away, his coat was left in the doctor's house. Would that draw the ape there?
It certainly would. You better get rid of him.
I was afraid my time might be wasted coming over here, but I guess it ain't. Thanks very much, Mr. Howley. I better be getting on the road. I'd like to make home around nightfall.
Well, anything I can do for you, let me know.
Karloff just, what is he? Hanging out all over his notebook.
Should have been enough.
Looking at his microscope.
can't work with you breathing down my neck like that. Tell you something.
Take this record book and keep it for me safely. One more. One more.
That's all it's gonna take. I just need one more victim.
Pete, you two boys go over there by that shrub.
Pete, you guys
Danny,
whose names I don't
take
know.
your men down there 100 yards by that rail fence.
Okay.
Oh, Sheriff, we've been watching there every night, and so far nothing's happened. Now I'm
Will
getting
you
tired.
take orders?
All right. All right.
You two boys go over by Wilcox's barn.
You mean Wilcox's barn?
Yes, Wilcox's barn.
All right.
You two boys go down the road 100 yards.
Nice comedy bit.
You two wait for
gotta
me
love
over that stone fence.
A comical
All right, Sheriff.
posse. A staple of these Poverty Row horror movies. This guy playing the sheriff was also the sheriff in Voodoo Man. He's in Ape Man. He's in Mad Monster. He's in a lot of Poverty Row horror movies.
Is the doctor here?
Henry Hall.
You sure of that? He's not in there.
Nice. Nice.
Say, Sheriff, what's the idea of sticking around so close to the doc's house?
Because that attendant told me that ape would haunt any place where that trainer had been.
Oh. Hey, what's getting you into that, Sheriff?
He doesn't know
You getting touchy?
nothing.
Lost his sense of humor. You know, when a man can't
Yeah,
laugh, it just...
That's really what I want in my sheriff, is a sense of humor. That's really what I'm looking for.
Is this where we found the body?
Mm-hmm.
Do apes ever return to the scene of their crime?
They're noted for it.
Well, we got something to look forward to.
I guess it's supposed to be day for night.
Oh, wait, it's supposed to be nighttime?
I think it is.
It's looking pretty bright.
Pretty bright. Ooh.
Ah!
Oh!
George! 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 What's the matter? It got me.
It
Fire
got me,
shot.
George.
Come on. Did you hear that shot?
Yes, but you told us not to leave here.
Where was it? That way. What is it? What's the matter? Did you fire that shot?
Yes, it's Tomlin. The ape twisted his neck, but Archie knifed him.
Can you walk? Pick him up and carry him to the doctor.
Twisted his
Go
neck.
and get him. God, he can't be far away. Come on, get out. Get
Come on,
after him, you
fellas.
fellas. You
What
boys
is he,
come with
like
me.
a Stretch Armstrong? Yep, just lounging outside at nighttime. Just wheeling right into danger. Why is Oh, thank God the posse's. Ooh.
Oh, let me go. Don't stop me.
No, Francis. I'll see what's happened.
Francis.
Let me give him one, Sheriff. Hold on, that's enough. He's done.
He's done. Well done.
What are they doing? What are they saying?
Darling, I don't know. It's the dog. All right, boys.
And I would have gotten away with it, too.
Let me through. Did the ape hurt him? Let me through.
Oh, you're in for a shot.
Let me through. Dr. Adrian.
Francis. Come to me, child. Walk.
Walk. Good.
Walk. There. You see? He's dead.
He
boy.
remembered he had been shot.
Oh!
And stabbed.
And stabbed. Wow.
Hello, Danny. No, wait, Danny.
Look at that.
So it worked.
All it took was some dead, murdered people's spinal fluid, and she could walk. You're right. The trolley experiment was a success.
I'm doing better every day, Danny.
Oh, sure. You're doing swell, but you gotta take it easy. I'll get your chair.
No, Danny. Mother and I burned the chair yesterday. I'm never going to use it again.
I don't know if I would have burned the chair. You might need it. Unless you're planning on killing more people for their spinal fluid. I don't know how permanent it is yet. I would not have burned the chair. Wow, well that was The Ape. So what did we think, Evan? So I would say that whatever your hunch was, you were correct, right?
Yeah. That the doctor was wearing the ape.
Yeah, they don't tell you, but yes,
they don't really go into that so much. But
essentially, after he stabbed it, he skins the ape, wears its skin so he can go kill people to get their spinal fluid to inject it into the disabled Francis.
Yeah. So I don't really remember this part of philosophy class. We were going over the trolley problem, but
it seems like the ethical waters are a little muddier than this movie's happy ending would like for us to believe. It's these are these classic Karloff Mad Doctor movies, though, especially if he is guilty of murdering people and doing terrible things. There's some element of redemption. There's always some kind of noble cause that he's fighting for, and ultimately, it's kind of right. But at the end of the day, it's it's kind of Karloff getting kind of being sinister most of the time and driven by some maniacal obsession. In this case, curing this girl's illness because of his past trauma of losing his wife and daughter. So, I mean, Karloff definitely more pathos than something like we've already seen him in, like Snake People.
Right.
Not much pathos in that. Not a lot to. I mean, he is the bad guy in that. No spoiler alerts there, but and we've seen him in The Terror as well. We've seen late stage Karloff. Tonight was mid stage Karloff. So, I mean, I'm glad that you thought that he was pretty sinister, or at least had some sinister moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
he can be scary when he wants to be.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, because we also saw The Veil, and I don't think that really gave him the opportunity.
No, not so much.
No, it definitely did not. Even though he's in every episode, but he's usually playing some tertiary character,
mild-mannered authority figure.
Yeah, mild-mannered. Some bug in the studio.
We got a moth in here.
It's the moth of Boris Karloff. Was it? I can't remember where I heard the joke, but there was some kind of, maybe it's in Ed Wood. I don't know. I know I've heard the joke somewhere where it'd be like, if there's a bug flying around, like, oh, don't swat that bug. Or maybe they said it about Lon Chaney Sr. Like, oh, don't swat that fly. It might be Lon Chaney. Like, because of how, just playing all these characters.
Oh.
But I feel like they might have said the same thing good. About like Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. Like, the idea that these guys were just such, and that, Karloff was Karloff the Uncanny in his heyday, like, which is before tonight's film. Like, this was years after they stopped just billing him with his last name. He went back to being Boris Karloff. But for like the period after Frankenstein to 1936, he was Karloff the Uncanny. And
just from having been a monster in Frankenstein.
The monster in Frankenstein. He was in The Mummy.
What was so uncanny about him? Just his face?
Yeah, the fact that he could just transform into these these deathly like that was the thing. The Mummy was the big movie where he was credited or on the posters as Karloff the Uncanny because it was. And I'm trying to think I think he might have had. There's a movie of his that is in the public domain that we'll get to see that I think might have come out either before The Mummy or around the same time as The Mummy. It's a British movie called The Ghoul. And, I mean, he plays like a kind of a monster in that. So he was just... Oh, and there's The Old Dark House. He's not really like a monster in that. He's just a big drunk like guy who can't speak and has facial hair. And
not a monster, just a little monstrous.
Yeah, just monstrous. Yeah, so not... That was the thing about Karloff, is that he really got this image of being a monster way more often than he actually played a monster. It's just the monsters that he did play were so monumental.
Yeah,
I mean, he
caused such a ripple.
He played Frankenstein 3 times. He played The Mummy once. And... again, he did these.
Can you imagine if he had ever played Dracula?
That's the funny thing, that he never really played vampires, and it never really got brought up as like. I mean, like, I think when they made Son of Dracula a few years after tonight's movie, I don't think Boris Karloff was ever like a name that was mentioned. It was always like Bela Lugosi wanted the part, and then they ended up giving it to Lon Chaney. And, I don't know. Karloff was just never the vampire guy. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I mean, he he had these in the 40s, these Mad Doctor movies, and then he had the psychological movies with Val Lewton at RKO, and he just, he had some weird stuff. He really, he was winding down. His middle career, his name was really used more than he actually was, kind of trouncing around as a monster. It just kind of, obviously he got old and tired, so they scaled back. And I don't know. I mean, I think tonight was, I don't know if he was actually in the ape suit when he took over. I mean, obviously,
you don't think so?
Well, you could obviously see the difference in the way the ape was walking, right? Like when it was initially an ape, and then all of a sudden when he's supposed to be in the costume, it's literally like the arms aren't swinging. He's just walking like he was walking before. So I don't think they actually put him in that costume, and except for that last shot at the end. That would have been... Again, I think there's a reason Karloff didn't do any more ape movies or any more Poverty Row movies after that. And again, he didn't have to. He had Arsenic and Old Lace, and he had all kinds of stuff. The man was busy. And so that'll be our last Karloff movie for a while. We won't get
oh man.
Yeah, well, The Ghoul will be our next big Karloff movie, and The Ghoul is a lot of fun. It's a British movie, so it's a little different, and it's, Karloff is in his heyday. It's big time.
Does he have hair in that one?
Yes, he has hair. It might be a wig. He's like a British guy who's really into Egyptian culture, and basically dies and is basically like a zombie pretty much because of his belief, like in his study of Egyptology. He's like
well, he prayed to the pharaoh.
Yeah, he made some kind of pact through some kind of jewel that he stole from a temple, and so now it's a wild movie. I can't wait till we see it. And I mean,
looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I am too. Karloff, like, again, that's heyday. That was before, like, again, tonight's movie is him very much in a B movie kind of middle of his career, just looking for opportunities. And that's happened to a lot of horror actors. They kind of like stooped.
He's paying the rent.
Just paying the rent. That's, Karloff was doing that here. And he didn't do it very often with Poverty Row, but it was a thing that a lot of horror actors kind of had to do to get by. And and that kind of takes us to next week's movie. Our 39th film, the 9th film.
We're watching Rent.
Yeah, Rent. Oh, God.
That horror movie.
That's terrible. Well, nowadays, with these prices, you're telling me, in this economy. No. So next week's movie stars Christopher Lee. It's a night. Oh. Yeah, it's a night.
It's been a little while, Christopher Lee.
It's been a while. Yeah, I mean... what did we have him in? Was it just the first movie?
Yeah, was it just
City of the Dead? I guess so.
Maybe.
That's all we've seen Christopher Lee in. And so, it's our second Christopher Lee movie of the stream. And, again, with the horror heavy-hitting horror stars, had to bring him back into the fold at some point. So this is 1977's End of the World. It's an American-made B movie that he apparently was duped to being into.
Oh, no.
He was told that it was going to have all these people in it, all these other actors, and it was basically
Where are all the actors?
Right. He said he was conned into thinking that it was going to be a bigger film and a higher budgeted film than it actually was. But it's sci-fi, it's about aliens.
It's got a good actor.
It's got a good actor. And he, Christopher Lee that's his middle career, him just working for a paycheck, not really realizing that he's just acting in some B film. And so then later on, he's like, God, why am I why am I doing this? And, I mean, he was trying to do James Bond movies. He was trying to do, he was trying to become a big Hollywood actor in the 70s. He was trying to get out of the horror movies, and he was trying to stop playing Dracula. And, it didn't really, the horror movies were always calling. So that's kind of how he ended up in the film that we're going to watch next week, End of the World. So that's going to be exciting. You can join us Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for that. Also, catch us on Wednesday for the penultimate
we're getting
installment.
Really close.
Yes, of Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe.
He's almost done it. He's almost conquered that
He's
universe.
Not quite there. Still a little guy named Ming in the way that he's gotta neutralize, but he's getting close. He's definitely getting close. So we're on the edge of our seats for these last 2 installments of Flash Gordon. Can't wait to see how they turn out. Join us 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday for that. Season 4 is almost done. So get ready for it. We'll have a little bit of a break, and then we'll be 1 year into the stream, and we'll be starting season 5. So the end is nigh. So look out. It's very exciting. Not William Nye. It's just just regular Nye.
Will.
Bill. Yeah. So join us next week for those movies. Find us over on the socials at Scream Stream Show. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Evan, as always, for joining me. Anything before we sign off tonight?
So long.
Touche. Sweet screams, everybody.
To all a good fright.